All right, welcome to Watchlist Wednesday again. The all bullshit, all for fun segment of the podcast where I kind of talk about what's going on in the market. We have a little bit of fun and we just kind of chit chat. And this week I have my muchacho with me, Claymont Young. Say hello.
Hello there. I'm the token Asian guy.
he is our token Asian guy. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for that, but
That's
it's okay because I didn't say he said it.
I said it.
So we're just going to have some fun. We're going to chit-chat about things going on in crypto. There's a number of things we want to kind of just talk about and highlight today that's been going on that I think you may or may not have heard of. One thing we're going to talk about is the IMF and their opinion on crypto as of lately, and maybe how that can affect the market, maybe how that can, change things up going into the rest of 2022. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad. We're going to talk about it. We want to talk about Kazakhstan. Am I saying that right? Kazakhstan.
I think it's Kazakhstan. But
Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Kazakhstan.
But, it's all good. It's all good.
It's not good. They're going to get mad at me.
No one says my name right ever, so I don't.
Okay, fair enough. Kazakhstan, I'm going to try and be correct. There's a massive internet outage. It's been affecting everyone there. We want to talk about that as well. It's having a bit of a reverberating effect on the crypto markets because it kind of scares people, the fact that, the internet's not out there and people can't use it, and crypto is actually pretty big in Kazakhstan. So we're going to talk about that. There's this new NFT platform called LooksRare that is very similar to OpenSea, Mintspool, and the things you've heard about, are familiar with today, and they had a massive opening launch. You're going to be pretty surprised what numbers they did. We're going to talk about Bill Miller a little bit. He is a legendary billionaire investor who is putting a large chunk of his personal net worth into Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about why he's doing that and what he believes and his thoughts on that versus gold too. We want to talk about the Metaverse a little bit. It's a huge trending topic. There's so much going on that front and what companies are doing and how much money they're spending. And I found a really cool article on where the Metaverse could be in 2030, and I think it's a little bit interesting.
Is it a bit steampunky?
It's a little wild. It's a little
Yeah.
crazy. Given how crazy it is today, 10 more years in Metaverse, who knows how wild that might be.
Jeez, yeah.
And the last thing I want to talk about is this guy who's making $800 a month mining Bitcoin with his Tesla. I'm curious how he's doing that, but I guess it's a good use of free energy from Tesla and from Elon Musk. So it's not new. I've heard about it before. Some people have done it.
Yeah, but I thought that mining coins these days is a huge process, so that you today, is that right?
That's what he's claiming. So it is a huge process, and I've done it before at scale. Very difficult.
So I don't understand how he can, but I guess we'll get to that. But
I'm very curious. So we'll see what he says in that article.
I'm getting a Tesla. I'm going to start mining if that's the case.
If you figure that out, I'm getting a Tesla too. I'm going to make $800 a month for every Tesla I buy. I might go broke doing that. That might not be smart, but at least his Tesla's making him money. So let's dive in and talk about this IMF stuff, this wonderful, wonderful organization here that we all cherish and love. So the IMF has come out and said that crypto can no longer hedge your investments. So why are they saying that? Let's see. The IMF said the correlation of crypto assets with traditional holdings like stocks has increased significantly, which limits their perceived risk diversification benefits and raises the risk of contagion across financial markets. That's actually something I've heard a number of times, even from different central banks, and a lot of it I think is fear-mongering because they're scared of how crypto could potentially bring down the traditional financial system with how much money is pouring into the space. I know you see it every day too, and you're just like, what the fuck?
It's all about the language that they use as well. It's always kind of hyperbolic and just very complex, and it generally is used to just make you feel like, oh, okay, maybe they've got a point. But in reality, I think they are just fear-mongering, and they're worried that this is going to derail a lot of what they control already. So,
yeah, I got to wonder if it's fear-mongering or if they actually have a point. But, I mean, is it a good point? Is it a bad point? Like, is crypto taking down the financial system a bad thing? Yeah, I know that would have a pretty bad reverberating effect on the economies, but I don't know.
yeah, the IMF doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to being credible and trustworthy, I think, in our circles at least. So.
No, they put countries in debt all the time and
Yeah.
make them slaves to credit and debt, and they're not necessarily the best, most beloved organization out there. But they do have an important role, and their opinion definitely has some weight.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a doubt this is going to have some kind of impact on, like the crypto market.
It does. And then a lot of this stuff is also coming on the tail that crypto has come down a bit recently with instability in the markets and the Federal Reserve in the U.S. pondering whether or not to raise rates to try and keep up with inflation. And Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have long been a considered hedge against inflation, a hedge against bad economies. And so now they're using this, incidents in time where crypto is kind of going down right now and having a bit of a pullback, and they're trying to use it as an excuse to say that, oh, Bitcoin is not a hedge against traditional markets. Bitcoin's not a hedge against a faulty economic system, monetary policy. And they're just kind of piggybacking on the opportunity. News like this will probably be far gone in the next few months if crypto decides to go back up.
Bounce back again, because it always does. And you're going to touch on that a little bit with the Bill article about Bill, because he's talking about traditional investments as well, and his reason for moving his money into crypto. So.
Exactly, and I think that'll be a really good contrast, given that he's a very famous billionaire investor who has a completely different opinion than these guys that sit behind desks at the IMF or at central banks.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's good to have that contrast, and we definitely want to cover that. But before we get there, we need to talk about what is going on in Kazakhstan.
The land of Borat.
The land of Borats.
That guy is so funny.
I've only seen part of that movie.
Borat. Well, the guy who plays him is Sacha Baron Cohen, and he's a British guy who does all these characters, and Ali G's another character that he does, which is hilarious. And I was watching a video of Ali G the other day, and I couldn't stop laughing. But yeah, Borat's from Kazakhstan, and apparently his country has gone through a 5-day internet outage. Okay, 5 days is a long time.
Yeah, 5-day outage. Look at this guy just sitting there in the snow. Like, he definitely has an opinion to share. It must be cold there.
Everyone has an opinion now that they're not on their computer anymore.
So you guys have probably heard about this, and I'm sure you're as curious as I am, but apparently there's been a lot of protests and demonstrations kind of triggered by changes in fuel prices, some unrest in the country. There's been a lot of people that have been getting detained lately. It hasn't been necessarily paradise in Kazakhstan.
When the government turns the internet off, you know that there's something that they're doing that they shouldn't be doing.
Exactly. I thought I read it in this article. I'm trying to figure out where, but maybe...
This happens everywhere, though. It doesn't matter which country it is. As long as there's some government bullshit happening, the internet generally just disappears for a few days until it calms down, which is so sad.
Yeah, so they shut down the internet, over unrest and stuff that's going on in the country. The problem is Kazakhstan's actually a huge hub for crypto, surprisingly. A lot of people that own Bitcoin own crypto or have startups in this space. Some of them, actually a lot of them do operate out of Kazakhstan.
But I think that, when you do something like that, you put an operation in a country that's generally speaking not stable, you are putting yourself at risk of having these exact experiences where, okay, yeah, the internet goes down for 5 days. It's not something that would probably happen in the United States, but it's definitely something that could happen in a country like that.
Yeah, in a smaller country, I guess that's possible. In a country with a lot of instability, actually bringing down the internet is a really hard thing to do, given how integrated the systems are. Certain things on the internet can go down, certain websites, certain companies, servers, things like that. But shutting off the internet is a very big endeavor, a global endeavor with how interconnected everything is and the lines that run under the oceans and across the country that are you have fiber optic cable running through all the ground, running through buildings. It'd be so difficult to really shut it off entirely. So there are some people freaking out, like, oh my God, if they can shut off the internet in Kazakhstan, could they shut off the internet in the U.S.? Could they do it in Europe? Could they do it in Asia and then wipe out crypto? The short answer to that is no. It's incredibly difficult to do something like that, and it's not going to happen. And the effect of shutting down the internet would create so many other problems. Crypto would be the least of your problems. So that's not going to happen.
Amazon Prime would be the number one problem you have. It's just like not able to get your washing up liquid refilled on time.
Yeah, plus, the government wouldn't even be able to, interact with each other. Why would they shut it down? You'd cut off all communication. Everyone would be living in caves and starting fires.
If it works that way, if you just have to, if there's basically one switch, which is like communications or no communications, then yeah.
It would make no sense to me why they would do that. I really think it's a silly fear. Anyways, moving on from Kazakhstan, which is just a complete shit show right now. There's something that looks rare, and we're going to talk about what looks so rare right now. And what's going on looks pretty rare to me. This is an interesting one.
So this article is about a competitor to OpenSea marketplace, which opened and on the first day made over $100 million in NFT sales, which, is incredible, but which also makes me think they had an amazing marketing campaign leading up to it.
Yeah, so either one of two things is going on here. Either this new NFT platform LooksRare, that's a competitor, huge competitor to OpenSea, either came out day one, had a fantastic launch plan, fantastic marketing campaign, and they just killed it, $100 million in sales in NFTs, or they had this issue where some are claiming wash trading or saying that there's a lot of fake volume on the exchange because there's NFTs being sold back and forth.
Yes.
Not quite sure what the issue is because I haven't personally checked out LooksRare.
Would that be easy to orchestrate, that kind of play where you're messing around with what's actually happening so it looks better?
It depends if there's fees or not. The problem is if I create an Ethereum NFT, a traditional Ethereum NFT, and I sold it to you for $10, there will be fees associated with
mining
that.
fees and things like that.
Yeah, gas fees, and then you could sell it back to me, but there'd be fees, and then eventually we just run out of money.
Okay.
It wouldn't be economical, but you can create NFTs these days, which are gasless and don't cost anything. And I guess we could sell it back and forth indefinitely and run up the volume. I guess that's possible. I'm not sure if that's what happened though.
Right.
According to Dune Analytics, it's kind of cool. Good name. In the past 24 hours, the fledgling non-fungible token marketplace has hosted 105 million traders to token stakers in the coming hours, according to Synonymous co-founder Zod.
Zod, yes.
Zod, before I die for a few hours. We will be deploying a fix for Wallet Connect shortly when you can use Coinbase Wallet, Trust Wallet. 2, Trezor, I don't know what that is.
Crazy stuff, though. I mean, like, for them to be able to pull off a day like that in a market like this just goes to show how early we are in the game, in my opinion. Like, if there was a competitor, let's say, I don't know, Google. I mean, right?
I think what happened with LooksRare, the day one launches can do really well. Like there's a lot of ETFs that came out for Bitcoin in this past fall that just killed it and broke records. The Bitcoin ETF that came out in the US broke the GLD gold ETF and made over $1 billion in purchases in like 3 days or something, 2 days, which was historical. And the gold ETF did it in like 3. But after that, it kind of sizzled out and wasn't popular afterwards. So sometimes these day one apps is the dominant force in NFTs still and the main place to go to buy and sell and trade them. They're often commanding in excess of 90% of the sector's total trading volume.
That's insane.
169 million to be specific in volume on Monday, which was narrowly keeping pace with LooksRare at $105 million in sales. I don't know. Maybe LooksRare will pan out to be, this new superpower platform where everyone goes to trade NFTs, or maybe it'll fizzle out. But
what's the advantage of LooksRare. I mean, they've got to have a competitive angle.
Should we go? Should we click on it?
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
Find out what's going on.
In order to do that, I have to change what I am sharing with you guys. 1 day after launch.
There we go. LooksRare underneath.
LooksRare marketplace. There we go.
Trade NFTs, get rewards.
I can't believe stuff like this sells. It's crazy that stuff like this actually sells.
That's the featured NFT for the day.
I mean, it looks like a very
Picasso-ish,
top collections. Meebits, or Meebits, what's popular now? Crypto Funks.
Funks V2 version 2.
Board Bunny. It's just Board Bunny Yacht Club.
If we were to make a collection called Depressed Giraffe, I think we would already be 50% of the way there.
Earn up to 850+% APR. Jesus. With a looks token?
Wow.
Anyways, I don't know. I'm going to have to dive into this. But it looks like a very simple platform. It looks very streamlined. You can connect MetaMask in your Coinbase, very similar to OpenSea.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they have all the same tools. Maybe they don't want to go that direction.
Well, when it comes to new platforms, though, like, you got to be careful because there's always these initial glitches and bugs that they need to fix. And you saw on the Twitter that I think the owner or the lead dev was posting that they're going to fix some wallet-based issues and things. I think just I would be careful in
yeah, well, who knows? It does look kind of cool. I'm going to do some more due diligence on it and check it out. And by the way, I might as well do a little call to action. We have a webinar for our company in Colombia, Block Colombia, which Clement and I are both a part of and helping push and grow, where we probably will talk about LooksRare a little bit in our NFT webinar. It's coming up in 2 weeks, so you guys should go check that out. I'll be sure to include some links to that as well if you guys are interested.
nice.
Let's talk about Bill Miller. This
Not
guy.
Bill Mayer.
Not Bill Mayer.
Okay.
We could talk about Bill Mayer at some point. Okay, so there's this billionaire investor. You guys may or may not know who he is. I'm sure most of you do if you're in the investing world. He's put 50% of his personal net worth and wealth into Bitcoin.
He says.
He says, he could be completely full of shit.
Could be a wannabe whale.
He looks like a whale.
You are so mean.
Sorry, Mr. Bill. But who knows? Why would he lie?
Yeah.
Why would he lie about it? I'm sure if he actually has 50% of his personal assets in it, he could probably prove it.
Yeah.
He made a really interesting point about it that I saw too. But a little bit about Bill, in case you don't really know much about him. He gained fame for beating the S&P 500 index a record-breaking 15 years in a row from 91 to 2005 as a fund manager for Legg Mason. And has previously invested heavily in Bitcoin and funds that he managed. But this revelation, I guess, is apparently very new. And he said he started buying it when Bitcoin was around $200 in 2014.
Nice.
And he was introducing it to Silicon Valley circles. So this guy's been interested in Bitcoin for a long time.
He's a hodler.
It doesn't say in this article, but I was listening to a journalist. I think I told you this. And there's a journalist that was asking about why he decided to put 50% of his net worth into Bitcoin.
Right.
And why not gold? Because he was saying that he thought Bitcoin was better than gold. And he said, well, in my opinion, gold over 5,000 years has gone from $0 to $1,850.
Granted, it's a lot more stable.
It is a little bit more stable, but it's not that great of a return on investment long term. His comparison with Bitcoin was over the course of only 10 years, it has gone from $0 to over $60,000+.
Yeah.
So why not put money in Bitcoin? Because in 10 years, it might go from 60 to 120 or to 200,000 or much higher.
It's an incredible store of value. Like, let's be honest, the logistical benefits of investing in something like a digital currency over gold is something that you and I have talked about a lot. So I think that plays a big role. But I also think, just to be the devil's advocate, the fact that Bitcoin is new and it's interesting and it's exciting is also another proponent of how big it's grown in such a short space of time. Like, think about what would happen if we suddenly stumbled across this new element, and that element could do a lot of things for us. You know, like, imagine if gold was something we just stumbled across tomorrow. I mean, the price of gold would be like super rocket high right now.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I just think people have, we live in a digital age, and we're about to talk about the metaverse in a second, but we live in a world where gold doesn't really fit, unfortunately. And there's a lot of people like us, or, kids these days, millennials, centennials, whatever the next, generational term is, after us, they're interested and have grown up in a world where they know nothing but an iPhone, where they don't know a world without the internet. They don't know a world without crypto, some of them. And, there are 10-year-olds right now that don't know a world without Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think about. What are those kids going to do when they get older? What are they going to promote? Are they going to really promote gold? They've grown up with this stuff. They believe this stuff has value. They use it every day. They're the ones playing video games, and they're the ones that are going to be in the metaverse, or the ones online on social media that are using those platforms to make money digitally. So they're going to probably, in my opinion, be more inclined to something like Bitcoin, to something like crypto as being a long-term asset or a good investment, rather than being privy to gold, which just doesn't really fit their lifestyle or the world we live in. So I don't have anything against gold.
I think it's going to continue to appreciate. It's just not going to be the next generation's store of wealth, perhaps.
Yeah. In fact, we're trying to save gold too. We're trying to help
we're not
our
anti-gold.
little yellow friend out.
Yeah.
He needs to get backed by crypto. We've actually taken a gold mine here in Colombia and have created gold-backed NFTs. Try and save the gold. Give it some digital value. Make it liquid.
We'll do what we can, bro, to save it. No, but I mean, I agree with you. I think the metaverse kicking off now really goes to show how important digital currencies will be, and so I'm super, super excited about it. And I think, gold has its place, but I don't think it has its place with the generations of today.
Absolutely. And that's just, the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. We'll use that as a segue into the metaverse. We definitely want to talk about, kind of where it's going, where we think it might go. I found this cool article on, what the metaverse could look like in 2030. Wanted to run through it really quick. And it already
looks anything like this, I'm going to want to kill myself.
I hope it doesn't look like this.
Can you imagine waking up and this is what you see?
It's going to be wild. You remember watching Ready Player One?
Yeah, and I think that's a very accurate representation of what we're going to actually experience soon.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's the direction of where all social media will go. And I think that's why Facebook rebranded to Meta, and while they're putting billions of dollars into developing out VR and AR technology, because they know that the future of social media, which is nothing but a medium for us to interact with each other and to be social, to connect, to share our lives, that the future of that is the metaverse. The whole point of going online is to have an experience. So if you take what is essentially two-dimensional with the internet, with being social, with social media, and you go three-dimensional with that, which is virtual reality, we are, that's what the future of Facebook will be, the future of Instagram, the future of Twitter.
It's insane thinking about it, because we're watching The Social Network, right? That amazing movie takes you through the entire history of Facebook, and even it was made years ago, so it's totally changed since then as well. And for it to be now moving into this three-dimensional space, I mean, I don't even know what it's going to look like, but I guess it could look like anything you want it to look like.
Yeah, we're going to have full spectrum VR headsets, smart clothing, tactile response, haptic gloves. There's actually this company that Facebook owns, and they're creating an actual suit you can wear, or gloves, haptic feedback, where you can feel real things and sensations in VR. There's another company that was doing that called Tesla Suit. I had him on this podcast a long time ago.
And it stopped?
They were creating a suit very similar to that, but it wasn't for VR gaming, but more or less for training the police force or firefighter or before going to space or doing a deep dive in the ocean, being able to feel sensations in your body.
They could easily pivot that towards something for VR and AR.
Oh yeah, and that's what I told them a long time ago. I'm surprised that they haven't, but Facebook is definitely going to do it. Oh yeah, they could make
Pornhub
billions.
are just rubbing their hands together right now, getting ready for this entire move.
Yeah, I think that'll be one of the biggest use cases for Metaverse. Will be porn.
Yeah, it's always been.
The internet, I think a third of all the internet activity in the early internet days, like pre-2005, like early 2000s, was porn. The internet was built on the back of porn.
Absolutely.
So you can't lie that that's what the driving factor for most people is. And
Sex
I imagine, that'll be another huge driver for the metaverse and for AR and for, just VR headsets and what you can do with them.
Yeah. Have you seen that Black Mirror episode where, look, let's be honest, Black Mirror really, we could talk about how much Black Mirror relates to loads of things we're talking about right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can imagine a lot of what is in that show will actually come true with the metaverse.
Yeah, there's
credit system, blacking out people's faces, just having, accessing old memories really easily. It's going to be crazy.
That's one of the best shows on Netflix is Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Because there's some things that are not far off at all. Yeah. I know they play on your irrational fears, but it's not far off. Like there's one where two guys are playing a video game. They go into the video game, and one's a guy, one's a girl, and then they have relations in the video game.
But in real life, they're like, nah. Yeah.
There's another one where they took these people and they had like this thing on their head, and they went into like their dream or something. Mm-hmm.
That was a creepy one.
That was a creepy one too. There's a lot of really
Dog. The episode called Dog that came true already. Boston Robotics have built that thing. Mm-hmm. You just have to stick a missile launcher on the back, and there you go. You've got it.
There was a drone one where a drone was chasing around a kid and blackmailing him to do all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember. I'm gonna go back and watch these again. These are good.
There's some really good ones. That's a little bit of what the future will look like. Is that Ariana Grande?
It does look like her. Oh, it is. So a lot of these stars and celebrities are going to do shows and have like events.
On Metaverse tour, DJs to do Metaverse tour, and that's what athletes love in VR. Like you can watch the Super Bowl in VR, you can watch basketball games in VR.
Dude, can you imagine what it's going to be like? Fortnite is fully Metaverse, and you can literally the players are actually Olympians. Like they've been training for this. It's not like a joystick or anything that they're using. That's going to be crazy.
It's going to feel weird. I don't know how they're going to pull that off, how you're going to be able to run and have those sensations.
But they'll fix it soon. I've seen these videos where there's almost like a circular mat, and you've got these barriers, and you can run within it because you're strapped in. But I think that's going to evolve quickly.
Yeah, they could sell like an entire system that's very expensive, like thousands of dollars, but you stand on it. It's kind of like a treadmill,
right?
Like a 360 treadmill.
Exactly.
They could have something. I've seen stuff like that. That'd be really interesting.
It's the whole issue about space. When you go back to Star Trek and there was the holodeck, it was that issue about space. Like, how do you use the space that you have to represent like a full world? So yeah, I think there's some kind of treadmill element to it.
Yeah, you'll have to have something physical that kind of gives you that sensation.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how you're going to run around and do stuff without a joystick, which will probably be the default for a while.
Yeah.
Some tactical controller or joystick.
I don't know, man. The sensors are going to get so good and the AI is going to get so good that when you shift your body, the whole floor is going to just act like as if it was happening in real life. So
right.
I think that's what's going to happen.
I guess to wrap up this metaverse topic, Facebook's, or Meta, they're not the only company. Snapchat, which I'm surprised they even have a company at this point.
Do they even have any money left?
Yeah, right. Snapchat, Amazon, Microsoft, on top of Facebook/Meta.
Microsoft could be a big player.
Oh yeah, huge player.
Pull their stuff together and.
They all have competing versions of this new digital world of the metaverse, and they're spending billions of dollars. And order to build this stuff out. And that's not including the crypto versions of the metaverse, like Crypto Voxels and Decentraland, Sandbox.
There's so much going on right now. If Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber are doing shows in the metaverse and people still don't know what the metaverse is, that's insane to me. It's just, you know what it is? I think celebrities and people that make money from entertainment and attention are all over new technology these days. Like before, it wasn't the case. Like if you had a TV star or a movie hero, movie star, it's not necessarily important to them to be keeping up with a technology shift.
Yeah.
But nowadays, they're right there straight away.
I think you know what I think the issue is? I think it's the iPhone still. People are addicted to your cell phone, and this is not where VR is. You have to have a completely different device.
Right.
I don't know if people want to carry a different device with them right now or to utilize it. It's extra steps, extra work. And the phone is nearly perfect. It's addicting. It grabs your attention. It gives you notifications. It draws you in. You can't really do that with VR. I guess you could integrate it with the phone so that it could get you to go, put the headset on. But it's just it's a different step. It's a different device, and I think it's going to take some time to adopt it.
So do you think we're going to see people walking around like you would see in Cyberpunk soon with these kind of headsets on that have cameras, and it helps augment their experience of just walking around normal places?
I think that'll be the first step, is
think so.
augmented reality. It's much easier because they're just overlaying something digital onto your physical environment. So glasses, Google Glass was like the first attempt at that, really. We're probably going to see that first become a bit more mainstream before we see VR go full mainstream, even though VR's here.
If you thought you had privacy issues now, imagine how much privacy issues you're going to have when you're recording everything you see on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm going to be able to put on my AR glasses, and it's going to have a little bubble that pops up and tells me everything about Claymont.
Right, exactly. That's scary stuff. And you can't stop someone from doing that. You might be able to opt out of platforms, but you can't opt out of everything.
But maybe it'll be like a social thing where you get to decide what it is that you're going to see.
Appear.
So when you put on these AR glasses or whatever it is, and you see stuff pop up above my head, it's going to tell you only what I want you to know.
If you see a hot girl and you're like, I wonder who that girl is, then you can literally find out in an instant.
Imagine if they integrate Tinder.
And you can match with them that is crazy. That is insane.
They'll tell you if you're on Tinder, then you can push on the Tinder icon above them.
OnlyFans page.
And you can have a request.
Oh my
Imagine
God.
seeing someone and it pops up, sign up for my OnlyFans page.
Oh dear. This
is going to get really messy.
Yeah.
There's so much people can do.
Wow.
Okay, let's talk about the last thing. We'll wrap it up, and that's this guy that's using his Tesla to mine Bitcoin, and I think he's claiming to be mining up to like $800 a month.
Which I don't understand how that's even possible.
I'm not even sure about that either, but I'm going to hear him out on this because it's kind of funny. Look at this guy. He's all proud and everything. Suraj Raval tried just about every way there is to mine for cryptocurrencies from his 2018 Tesla Model 3. Ooh, a Model 3. That's a really cheap one, actually. I don't know you could do that. I thought you'd have like a Tesla S or something, like one of the bigger models, because it has more power.
Right.
Anyways, he's run free Bitcoin mining software on his Apple Mac Mini M1 and powered the computer by plugging an inverter into the 12-volt power socket located in the center console of his car. He's also hooked up interconnected graphics processing units, or GPUs, to the frunk of the Tesla, running these machines off the car's internal battery, though it risks voiding his car warranty.
Which I don't think
he says it's worth it. When the price of Ether peaked in 2021, he claims he was netting as much as $800 a month.
Interesting.
Is it really worth it?
I don't know, man, but
even if, at the most you've been making $800 a month mining crypto with your Tesla's expensive. Like, why avoid the warranty?
And I mean, like, isn't there a more efficient way to do that using a dedicated
plug it into the wall?
Yeah. Right.
Like whatever he doesn't need to use his Tesla to power these mining rigs.
That's the hook of the story right there. It's, oh my God, he's using a Tesla.
He's doing it because he wants free electricity.
Yeah, maybe.
But you can find really cheap electricity somewhere, and you can, ideally do this. I just don't know if it's worth voiding your Tesla warranty and throwing out all the benefits that come with it and
Yeah.
being public about it. And, I guess if you have a Model 3, it's, a bit cheaper of a model and it's not that big of a deal. But if you had a nice Tesla, like a $60,000, $70,000 Tesla, like a Model S
you want to do that.
or something like that, why would you do
want
that?
to mess around with that. And people who are buying those Teslas are probably not going to be fucking around with that kind of stuff. Do you see more and more and more crypto mining moving over to renewable energies?
Renewable energies. I think so. I think there's a lot of change. There's news with El Salvador creating this Bitcoin city next to a volcano, and they want to use volcanic energy to power crypto miners. There's a lot of attempts to use solar panels and solar power, even though it's a little rudimentary still and doesn't generate enough electricity.
Yeah.
There's attempts to use
hydropower. We talked about that.
Hydropower is the easiest and the cheapest. Mini nuclear plants is going to become a huge thing for small cities and small towns where you can have a mini nuclear reactor that's safer and that powers
it will
plenty
only
of
wipe
energy.
out a quarter of the city.
Yes, it'll only wipe out that part of the city.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine. I'll live on the other side.
But nuclear energy is actually very clean energy.
Oh yeah,
it's very, very clean. The only problem is, making sure you don't have a meltdown. The good thing about it is the technology behind nuclear reactors today is far safer, multiples exponentially higher, safer than it was.
Chernobyl existed.
Yeah, or Fukushima.
Yeah.
So I think so. I don't think it's a huge issue. The use for energy for Bitcoin versus the use of energy for the monetary system.
Yeah.
It's far lower.
Right.
And I think is a far better justification of energy in the first place.
Okay, exactly.
That's one. The two, a lot of the energy Bitcoin uses is cast off energy that's going to be wasted anyways. Like let's say you go to a hydroelectric dam or plant and you're using 2 cents per kilowatt hour energy coming out of it to power Bitcoin mining rigs. All that excess energy that's super, super cheap, you're getting it super cheap because it is excess energy. It's going nowhere.
It wasn't really going to be used anyway.
Yeah, so the wasting of the energy isn't necessarily Bitcoin. It's these places that are creating too much and we just toss it out and we don't utilize energy. The complaint is, Bitcoin being set up or Bitcoin mining operations being set up in small towns and small cities and then using their rates for everyone in the city.
Yeah. About that.
I think almost come around to the idea of, okay, love this cover.
Probably not, man. I mean, talking about things I have no idea about, I love it. That's what I'm all about. I've always done that my whole life. So,
yeah, just for the record, he has no idea what he's talking about today. He's just happy to be here.
I'm happy. I'm just happy.
Okay, perfect. Well, stay tuned next week for the next episode of Watchlist Lindsay, and stay tuned for the episodes we have coming out tomorrow. See you guys all soon. Ciao.
Ciao.